Your holiday shopping at Next Chapter Booksellers. Black Friday is just around the corner, and Next Chapter Booksellers has the perfect gift ideas. Books make for easy, thoughtful gifts that are a breeze to wrap and ship. Their friendly staff excels at offering recommendations for all ages and preferences. Explore their wide selection of puzzles and games for interactive family fun. And if you're still stumped, then try a Next Chapter Booksellers gift card. That's Next Chapter Booksellers in St. Paul, your destination for easy-to-give gifts.
Check out AM 950's new evening lineup. At 8 p.m., we'll have a brand new version of The Rick Smith Show with limited commercial interruption. Then at 9 p.m., it's Driving at Home with Patty Vasquez. And as always, Greg Bakken caps off the evening with the best in paranormal talk with Ghost Box Radio at 10 p.m. Find our full schedule at am950radio.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Winter is here, and there's a good chance your home isn't being heated efficiently. And it's likely because of air sealing and insulation problems. Inadequate attic insulation is the leading contributor to high energy bills, cold rooms, and ice dams. Great news, the energy-efficient pros at Snap Construction can fix it all. Stop the heat from leaking out and save. Call 612-333-SNAP or visit snapconstruction.com for your free infrared energy inspection. Install with Snap Construction and qualify for over $750 in rebates and incentives. State and city programs are now offering 0% financing for qualifying insulation upgrades. So call Snap Construction for your free insulation energy consultation and start saving on your energy bills. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed insulation and exterior contractor in the metro area.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, snow and patchy fog possible with a low of 28. The Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 36. The nights are getting colder, but the music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, Henny Cudahy, man.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You are right, Jaga. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, supporting honest Native news, stories, and events from Natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
Hey, Pinigigi, everyone, for keeping us. If you're looking a way to support us and you can't earn in town or whatever, to support our sponsors and call them. Patreon's a good way to sponsor us in a direct way. We really appreciate over the years all the people that have supported us. Hey, Haley, we got Dr. Stately on a little later here, CEO of Native American Community Clinic. And then after that, Wendy Pilot's going to be talking about our sacred animal segment, which she does. And she has probably a little, we cut her off a little bit last Friday, so she probably has a little more Fun Fact Friday to bring in.
Yes, I know. We're always excited to have Dr. Antony Stately on from NACC and give us our good healthcare updates along with our COVID updates. And Wendy, she's so fun, as always. I just love her animal segments.
Hey, our sacred animals. Hey, so a year ago, or I should say 7 years ago, which the birth of Native Roots Radio was happening, we were in Standing Rock during Thanksgiving week, and then on December 4th, 2016, I was on Care 11, and I just want to play that spot and then talk about a little bit about the Oedipus of this show and how this show started. But let's just take a quick listen and see if I am coherent at all on this Care 11 TV spot.
The Dakota Access Pipeline has come to a halt. The Army Corps of Engineers will consider different routes, saying it would be best accomplished through an environmental impact statement.
Very cautiously optimistic. Optimistic that it's stopped right now, but cautious because of what the future might hold.
Robert Pilot of St. Paul made 3 trips to Standing Rock and says moving forward, he hopes for more transparency. In a statement, the Army Corps said the EIS would include, quote, full public input and analysis.
We have a new president coming in, and so this may be short-lived.
Last week, the Associated Press reported Trump supported the completion of the Dakota Access Pipeline based on policy, not investments, according to an aides memo. According to multiple reports, Trump owned stock in companies associated with the building of the pipeline. House Speaker Paul Ryan tweeted his reaction saying, quote, this is big government decision-making at its worst. And while we don't have an exact timeline, the EIS process could go on for months. Heidi Wigdahl, Care 11 News.
Yeah. So if you caught that, Obama stopped the Dakota Access Pipeline, and then as soon as Trump came in, the second day he was in, started it up again.
Oh my goodness. Just an absolute nightmare of a lot of things Trump has done.
Yeah. And he's telling us, he's signaling very coherently what he will do when he becomes president. And again, total red alert. He's not hiding any of his racism or any putting people in jail, going after media like you, Haley, and me. And so we have to do everything we can do to not make that happen. And voting for Biden would be the first place to start, I think.
Right. And this was an article as of October 24th, this past October. Biden administration must redo its assessment of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And I think that's exactly what we need. You know, I'm not sure if they did follow through with another assessment. We know that the pipeline did go in, but we also know that as of now, it is currently leaking, right?
Yeah, definitely. And pipes do leak and pipelines do leak. That's one thing you know for sure consistently. Also, we had a victory up north here with the copper mine, and we're really grateful for that. The DNR finally did something good and denied this copper, up in the place where you love, Haley, up in the Boundaries waters. They want to pollute that area too.
Oh, our Great Lakes are just the biggest source of our fresh water, and putting anything hazardous or toxic near them, I don't understand how anyone could think that that's a good idea. But then again, people like that who want to do things, all they care about is the profit over people. And that's never good.
It was fun too. Let's switch subject here a little bit before we end the segment. One of the things we went to see your cousin and my Hinu in a play this past weekend, or this past Friday, and right after the show, and it was fun to hang out, and we went and saw the play, and it was very awesome. Roya was in it. She was a police officer with a lot of comedy, and it was just a lot of fun, and I can't wait to go see it again.
It was so amazing. And I don't know if we'll talk about this with Wendy too, because Wendy came.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went and saw A Christmas in Ochapi. And this was a New Native Theater production, but it was actually playing at the Red Eye Theater off of Snelling there in Minneapolis. A Christmas in Ochapi is actually written by Montana Cypress, who is Mikasuki, and directed by Julia Rosa Sosa. So this play, A Christmas in Ochapi, runs through November 29th through December 17th. And tickets are pay what you can. So definitely make sure you go see this fun comedy that takes place down in the Everglades about a Native family. And it's hilarious. So definitely go check it out.
not to be a spoiler, but it was really funny because Wendy's a vegan and Jaleesa plays a vegan in the a vegan in this show, and that was just an inside joke, pretty funny for us to hear.
It was. Yeah, they had really great everything about the production, from the casting to the lighting to the sound effects. The special effects was just so spot on altogether. It was a really great production, and bravo to not only the cast but everyone who helped put that together, because I know production for any type is a lot. There's a lot that goes into it.
So that's New Native Theater. Look it up, and also we'll probably have somebody on this week too talking about the play again. And it's funny. I will go see it again because there was a lot of things, being old, that I missed. There was a lot of fun, inside jokes and fun jokes, but all in all, it was a great night. No, they didn't have a what is it called? Intermission. It just went the whole time, and that was pretty awesome too. And I was masked up because I was still getting over COVID, and it was just really, really fun. So people get out there and see them, and we'll probably let people know when we go again, so we can all hang out from Native Roots Radio people that are listening to us. Oh,
that would be fun. Yeah. So again, A Christmas No Show be November 29th through December 17th, which seems like, December 17th is coming up quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's no kidding. Hey, and then also too, this weekend, or I should say starting Thursday, we're going to be out in Shakopee with Native Roots Trading Post, and Haley and I and Wendy will be out there manning the store, or personing the store, and come on out and get one of those. The most popular thing we sold at the fair, and I think that's selling at the Dayton store, is the Pink Floyd t-shirts with the cheapie, and it's really cool, really basic design. But we got hoodies, t-shirts, a purple rain dancer, and
Wild Rice too, right?
Yeah, and our resist, and we got some paintings. We have a lot of stuff, same stuff. We'll have a lot of things there, and come out and see us there. That's in Shakopee, right across from the big casino out there.
Yeah, and that'll be Thursday through Saturday. There's going to be a ton of vendors, so a really great place to come do some Christmas shopping.
Exactly. Hey, up next we got our friend Dr. Stately, and then later Wendy Pilot. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake's Monday version.
Stay with us.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
As we gear up for the holidays, let's keep our friends, relatives, and elders protected from COVID-19. Even though the emergency declaration is over, COVID-19 is still a concern, especially for those with compromised immune systems. So when you get together this holiday season, opt for outdoor gatherings if weather permits, or well-ventilated indoor spaces. And here's a tough one. If you're feeling unwell before your gathering, stay home. It may not be much fun, but it goes a long way towards keeping our cherished elders healthy. After your event, keep an eye on your health. Test if you notice symptoms. If you're traveling in crowded places like airports, put on a mask for that extra layer of protection. Let's make this holiday season the healthiest ever, securing a brighter future for our Native community. For more tips, visit health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Hi, I'm Claudia with MinSure, Minnesota's official health insurance marketplace. With MinSure, you can compare health plans from multiple companies and get free help from a trusted expert. Whatever health plan you choose with MinSure, it's guaranteed to cover essential benefits, so you can get the care you need. See if you qualify for discounts, available only through MinSure. If you need quality, comprehensive health insurance, get started now at minsure.org.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. And what a coincidence here. We have the CEO of the Native American Community Clinic, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Dr. Stately. And Dr. Stately, thank you so much for coming on. And, really, it was really, we've told the story a few times, but I just want to tell it real quick that we got a wreath from from your boys playing hockey, and I wasn't feeling up to par, and you said, "What, have you taken a COVID test?" And Wendy and I looked at each other, and it was like, what? And then we took it, and then I had it, and then we got what is it? Paxlovid, and my goodness, I was down for just one day, and I'm really grateful.
I can't hear you, sorry. And I'm not a professional lip reader.
Can you hear us, Dr. Stately?
I can now.
Yeah, looks like somehow we got a little muted here on our end here at did you hear the story I just said?
No.
I was just thanking you for coming over with the reef and giving us the idea for me to test for COVID. And sure enough, I had COVID, and then I really had only one day that was really bad, and all the rest I was at 90% because of that drug you told us about.
Oh yeah, Paxlovid. Yeah. I know I was telling everybody like, oh, I'm a miracle worker. I diagnosed him at his house with just standing in the doorway. It's like, wish everything was that simple. But no, I mean, you had the same symptoms I had. When I was asking you questions, I was like, that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly my experience. So yeah.
You know, Wendy and I have all these kits, and we're like, well, let's use one and try it out. And sure enough, it was like, oh, the 2 lines showed up, and I go, can I take the test again? And it's like, sure enough. And then I texted you, and you were very humble in your response, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they are there for. They're there for you to test and take. And I have a little bit of a thing that I got over the weekend because I think one of my brother-in-law lives with us, and he's staying with us temporarily, and he is sick. And then I started kind of getting this thing in my throat, this little tickle in my throat, kind of like the symptoms you were talking about. So but I got COVID, I think, again at the beginning of October or November. I can't remember. I think it was the week before, the first week of November. And so I was like, well, I can't have it again, can I? But I went ahead and took a test anyway, just to make sure. Because who knows? Nobody really knows. It's like, I think, well, I mean, we do know, but I mean, is it possible I could get some other strain that wasn't the vaccination I just got wasn't effective for? So I went ahead and took it just to make sure. And it's not COVID, but it's respiratory, and it is making my voice sound, I think I don't know. Hopefully I don't sound dorky on the radio, but hopefully I sound like Barry White, right?
A little bit with Barry White sucking a balloon with helium in it a little bit.
Barry White sucking a balloon. Thank you. That's possibly the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Really regretting giving you that phone number to the Paxlovid guy. Just kidding.
Shoot. Well, it was and Wendy was my doctor for those 4 days, and I wanted to really act sick for an extra day or two, but she caught me walking around whistling, so I guess long. Right, Wendy? Wait,
yeah, you really got to play the part if you're going to make that thing happen.
Yeah. Well, Wendy was do you want to put your headphones on?
I think she's already told me that you're a big baby when you get sick. And so like I remember when I got sick, I just like close the door, keep the cats and everybody out of my house, or out of my bedroom. I don't want to be bothered when I'm sick. I don't feel well.
Well, I was moaning, so the dog knew I was sick too. So
Yeah.
doing the whole 9 yards.
Dr. Lee, have you tried any traditional medicines to help with your throat? I know, like a good flat.
I'm actually taking this stuff right now. So it's called.
What is that?
It's immune support. It's a botanical extract. It says, "Ain't time to get sick" is the subtitle of it. And it's
Ain't no time to get sick, Jack.
Ain't no time to get sick. Elderberry, echinacea root, red root, ginger, Oregon grapefruit, grain alcohol, and water. Oh, grain alcohol, great. Just lost my sobriety there.
Yeah. It's just 40 proof, no problem. Jeez.
Only 38 years down the drain. Anyway, I jest. It's like, yeah.
Well, I want Wendy to grow that out in our front yard. What is it? The elderberry?
Elderberry, yeah, elderberry, echinacea root. This is all stuff you can get at a apothecary or and most of this stuff actually you can get online and order it online. This is a botanical extract and supplement that we sent to all the elders when we were sending out elder kits to people who were sick. So, and I kept a jar for myself. I'm an elder, so I get to keep one.
Right. Well, Wendy, how was it taking care of me?
Yeah, I was okay. You slept a lot, so that was good. But like I cooked you breakfast, lunch, dinner, made homemade soup.
Yeah.
Waited on you. So yeah.
Yeah.
When you're talking about elderberries, it reminded me of a song by Elton John. It's called Elderberry Wine. It was on the B-side of Crocodile Rock.
Yeah, Crocodile Rock. I love that. Oh my God, I played the heck out of my 45.
Yeah, I had the 45 also.
Yeah. One of his lesser known hits.
Yeah, but it was a great song. Yeah.
There's always the good songs that people forget on the B side of those records.
That's right.
Is there one called Flat Cedar Tea? I'd like to know that.
Let's make it a song.
Yeah, let's just call him, ask Barry Toppin to write one for him, a tune.
Well, you hear Dr. Stately's sick again.
I hear. What's going on?
I don't know. It's a little respiratory thing. I think I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
But I did a practice. I don't feel sick. I just have this thing that sounds like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Kathleen Turner in Body Double or whatever. Body Heat.
Body Heat.
Yeah, Body Heat.
That was a great movie in the 80s.
That was a great movie in the 80s. And she has like this deep, deep voice. And I was like, wow. Yeah. If I could come back a woman, I'm going to be that.
Right on. That would be a good one. So it was interesting. And I thought I heard somewhere, and of course, part of my reality is what I dream and then what I think I heard. So I'm not sure if this is true. But what I heard is that a lot of people that have had COVID will not catch this COVID. And it's weird because Wendy did not get COVID by being I'm sneezing on you in the same bed. And
I know. And I picked up one of his LaCroix was laying around, and I was like, oh, there's my LaCroix. I start drinking it, and I'm like, oh, it's Robert's. And yeah. So it's just like, oh my God. But I didn't get sick. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
It is weird. Yeah, I wonder if it's a different strain, and if you've had the earlier ones, who knows?
I don't know. Let's act on.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that can account for that. That can account for like such things as like when I got sick, I mostly stayed in my room. But we have a small house. There could be circulation and things like that. But I stayed in the house. When I went out of my bedroom, I wore a mask. So I was like, I think I told you this already. So like when I'm sick, I don't want anybody like bothering me. Like I just don't like, I don't, like come check and see if I'm still breathing. And if I'm not breathing, call somebody. But other than that, just leave me alone.
I want to be a burden to everyone. I mean,
It's not even so much that I don't want to be a burden. I just like I don't like if I don't feel good and I'm not comfortable, I don't want to be around anybody.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I
I-
guess
and
it
it's
was a
not, and
little
it's, yeah, and it's not even so much that I'm miserable or I'm like I'm crabby or cranky or anything. I just I don't want I just want to be left alone. And yeah, so like, my kids left me alone and for the most part, my cat didn't. So I was worried I was gonna give COVID to my cat.
right.
He was trying to lay by me and snuggle with me like he always did. And like sometimes he kisses me and I was like, I'd grab him and then throw him off the bed and then be like, don't, I don't want you to get sick. And then 5 seconds later, you'd be back up there. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't want my baby boy to get sick.
What's your cat's name?
Boy Kitty.
Boy Kitty.
Actually, when he was a baby, he was Boy Kitty. Now he's Kitty Man because he's 2 years old now.
And Kitty.
Man Kitty. Oh, wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next segment at all, but that's a cute story, huh? Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio, and it's the Monday version of Native Roots Radio with Dr. Stately and Wendy. We'll be right back. Haley and I will quiz these two. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. As we gear up for the holiday season, let's prioritize the safety of our community. Our cherished FDA approved for ages 6 months and up. So here's the call to action. Be a vaccinative. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Getting vaccinated before your holiday gatherings is a powerful way to ensure a safer and happier time for everyone. Let's honor our elders by preserving their wisdom and stories for generations to come. So be a vaccinative this holiday season. Find more information, including clinics with free vaccines at vaccines.gov.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Check out AM 950's new evening lineup. At 8 p.m., we'll have a brand new version of The Rick Smith Show with limited commercial interruption. Then at 9 p.m., it's Driving at Home with Patty Vasquez. And as always, Greg Bakken caps off the evening with the best in paranormal talk with Ghost Box Radio at 10 p.m. Find our full schedule at am950radio.com.
The Electric Fetus gift card sale is now through December 14th, both in the store and online. Buy $50 in gift cards and get a $10 bonus gift card, or buy $100 in gift cards and get a $20 bonus gift card. The Electric Fetus will also include a special January sale punch card with your order. The Electric Fetus is open 10 to 6 Tuesdays through Saturdays and 11 to 6 on Sundays. They're closed on Mondays. Find the Electric Fetus at 2000 South 4th Avenue in Minneapolis and at electricfetus.com. Unveil the captivating world of native photography at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. Their new exhibit, In Our Hands, Native Photography 1890 to Now, turns the camera around and puts native photographers in control, featuring hundreds of photographs captured by generations of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and Native Americans. You'll view the world through their lens, revealing the beauty and complexity of Indigenous heritage. Don't miss this incredible experience. Visit In Our Hands at the Minneapolis Institute of Art now through January 14th. For more info, visit artsmia.org.
Hi, this is Frank Brown, owner of Minuteman Press Uptown, Minnesota's only minority-owned union printing company. We have big news. We've moved to North Minneapolis.
Why did you move?
As a Black business owner, I wanted to be part of the North Minneapolis community to provide jobs.
Are there other reasons you moved there?
We have bigger new equipment and outgrew the other location.
What kind of new equipment do you have?
We have new equipment that allows us to print quality signage and banners. We also have a new inkjet printer, printing larger sheets, improving production efficiencies.
Is the new location easy to find?
It's not only easy to find, it's more convenient with plenty of parking. We are now located on Washington Avenue North off I-94 and the Dowling exit.
So do you still print everything?
We print more than everything. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. fog possible with a low of 28, then Tuesday sunshine with a high of 36. The nights are getting colder, but the music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, can you guys guess what time of year this is?
It's time to sign up for MNsure.
You've heard the show before. Yes, it is.
Open enrollment.
Well, I thought we'd also mention your birthday coming up Wednesday,
Ooh,
too.
my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, well, somebody said that it's a privilege to grow old.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always like, so my birthday, whatever. But you know what? I'm happy to be alive.
Wow.
I really am.
Oh, Wendy, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You'll take care of me when I get old. So where can we sign up for MNsure, Haley?
Yes. So MNsure is the one-stop destination for health insurance and tax savings in Minnesota. So if you need help getting your plan together for the next coming year, you can go ahead and visit mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org to explore options.
Hey, Wendy, we have Dr. Stately here. I'm getting text here from our family here. So I was ADHD and out there. We have Dr. Stately here, and we're talking a little bit about our health. And Dr. Stately's a little under the weather. And then it was kind of funny that he diagnosed me from about 10 feet away. It was good.
Yeah.
Good job, Dr. Stately.
With a wreath, and you're holding on to your dog? Your dog. Was it a dog? It was an animal of some type. Oh yeah, you were dog. It was your dog because I was wanting to see your cat. Your whiskey voice
Our cat was laying in the heated bed.
Yeah. I love your cat's whiskey voice. It's very cool. It's very
yeah. Cigarette Marlboros and whiskey, that cat.
Yeah, sultry cat.
So this has been what was really cool, Dr. Stately, and I think it's great to remind people, as soon as Wendy knew that I had COVID, she wrote down 5 days. This is what you got to do. And right away made it really easy for me. And then this is what you have to do after the 5 days. And so, Wendy, talk about that just a bit.
Well, it's the protocol not to get anybody else sick. So the day that you test positive, count it as day 0. And then the next 5 days, stay in and isolate. Don't go out. Don't go near anybody else. And then after those 5 days, you can go out for 5 days, but wear a mask whenever you're around anybody.
Yep.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Perfect. 5 and 5. Yep.
5 and 5. Nice and
easy to remember.
Well, it wouldn't have been easy for me to remember because was this day 0 or day 1?
You had COVID green too, so
for you.
Yeah.
Easy, Haley. I heard that.
Like when I had COVID, I didn't. I tested negative on the first day I started feeling sick and I started having symptoms. Like I tested negative, and then I woke up the next day and I felt worse because if you recall, I got my COVID shot and my COVID vaccination on Thursday, and also my flu vaccine. So I did the 2 for it. And then the next morning I came to work and I was like, all ready to open up my computer and start answering emails. And then within like 20 minutes of getting to work, I was like, I hit a wall. And then I was like, so I went home, thinking like, well, maybe this is from the shots. Maybe I'm just like getting knocked down because of the shot. It's quite a bit to, my arm was already starting to get sore from the flu shot. So I laid down and slept for about an hour and then got up and took a test, and then negative. So I was like, well, maybe this is just from the shots. And then the next day, the second day, I was like, it felt like, somebody like, some big ogre pushed me down on the beach and said, stay down. You're down for the count. And that's exactly what I did. I stayed in bed and I slept for 16 hours the first day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I want to just remind everybody that you cannot get COVID from the COVID vaccine.
cannot. That's just
Oh,
coincidence. There is
yes.
actually a significant amount of research that demonstrates this, not just with those vaccines, but with other vaccines. People are like, oh, I just got the flu shot. Like, why am I getting the flu? Well, it's all about timing, right? I probably, I ended up getting my vaccine when I already had been exposed to it. So and it takes a while for your body to start to respond to the things that you're exposed to. That feeling that you get after you get the vaccine, even if it like feels like you get a slight fever and you feel a little bit ill, that is demonstrably different than actually getting ill, right? And that's your body sort of generating the immune response, like it mobilizes its little workforce to get you ready to fight the real thing when it shows up. But if you're late getting the shot, and I remember thinking this is like, dang it, why did I not get that vaccine 3 weeks ago when I could have taken it? That lady at Walmart, she said, you want to take the vaccine? And I was like, I'll get it. And, I work at a healthcare center. I'll do it later. It's kind of, I pushed it off and didn't think about it. So
no blue light special for you then, huh?
None whatsoever. The only blue lights I saw were the ones that I was dreaming about. And when I was in that little, feverish, halo or thing I was in.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Ho Chunk Nation. Where General Council was in September, and they were ready with flu shots for everybody.
Yeah,
and I was hoping to get a COVID shot, but they were a week behind.
And it is really important to get your vaccines specifically for flu and also for COVID. But also if you have young children, get the RSV vaccine. Like they were just talking about this on the radio show we don't talk about, but they were talking about it yesterday. They're talking about how hospitalization rates for both flu and RSVP are on the rise.
Yeah.
They're significantly, and they're not outpacing COVID. There's actually a huge spike in COVID right now. And these are things that I'm going to just remind everybody, all of our listeners, like these are things that we were talking about this time last year during November and December. Like, it's cold outside, we start to stay indoors. We're not having our parties outside like we do. Everything's happening inside. And you aren't just sharing that punch at the Christmas party, you're also sharing germs and a bunch of other things. So, do yourself a favor and get yourself a vaccine. It's more likely to do something. I mean, I tell my own relatives and people, if they ask me my opinion, I'll say, I'm going to take the 30% chance that it's going to work over the 0% chance of not having it. I'm gonna, whatever that percentage is, I'm erring on the side of that, because I don't want to get sick. I don't enjoy being sick, and I don't want my kids or anybody else in my family to get sick. So I'm going to do my part to do it. And I wasn't feeling well today, but I had a really important meeting to show up that involved, I would be around elders. I wore a mask. I wasn't, have a whole lot of positive symptoms, but I wore a mask during that time when I was around them, because I don't want them to get sick either. Like, they're vulnerable. And so, it's all part of being a good relative, like remembering that, that you impact the well-being and health of other people, and you should want to take care of the people that you love and that love you. And if there's complete strangers, you should still want to try to take care of them. You never know when or where that person will show up in your life and have some demonstrable impact.
Yeah. And that's what Wendy was talking about, wearing the mask. And it's not for me or for people, not for me to, I guess I couldn't, if I wear a mask, I won't scare the little kids, but also keep the elders.
You could actually probably prevent scaring little kids if you wore a mask.
That's what I meant.
I was gonna say that, like, you don't want to just avoid getting people, like, passing on RSV or the flu to an elder that's old, that has immunocompromised and stuff like that. So it's not just about, like, to only wear a mask if you have COVID. Wear a mask if you have any respiratory illness and you're around people that are vulnerable. cancer patients, immunosuppressed, people who don't have as strong of immune system as you do, or little tiny kids that are more vulnerable. RSV is very, very dangerous to small children because they have such small little airways. So a little bit of inflammation in a small airway, they're going to have difficulty breathing. And, do you want to really be the person that passed something like that on to your nephew or your niece or your own children or someone else's child? I don't think that anybody really wants to do that. So it just takes a little bit of and it's not fun. Nobody is going to be like, yay, I want to wear a mask, except on Halloween. But the point is do something to take care of other people. Be a good relative. That's what the Creator sent you to be here.
Yeah, and that was startling that I had COVID because that was the first time that I've had it. So I did need to be reminded of these things. Wendy was on top of it, and we talk about it here all the time. But you kind of go into denial right away. That's like, well, let me take the test again. I can't have COVID, and I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, we used 2 different manufacturers of the COVID test. So we did one, it came up positive, and then I was like, oh, I have this brand also. Let's try that. Well, they were both positive. So that's all.
That's very scientific of you.
Positive tests.
Yeah, that's very scientific of you, but yes.
Jeez. Wendy never got it, which is just mind blowing because you've been close to me, taking care of me.
Have you never had it, Wendy? Are you?
I had it early on. I had it early on after my first vaccine. I had it before I got my booster, I believe. I had it while I was in New York. So I had my first vaccine, was in New York, got COVID. And then that was early on. That was 2 years ago.
I was thinking it was just a year because we were there for a christening. How old is I thought,
oh, it's okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that's important, like I got sick and went to the hospital, but it was before the vaccines were available. And so as soon as I was able to, and I kind of fudged it by a day or 2, I think I was like, I'm getting this vaccine as quickly as I possibly can because I don't want that again. I didn't want to be in the hospital ever again. And I got my vaccines and my boosters. And then I went from that period. So I basically went like 3 whole years and never got it again until November of 23. And I think it's a reminder that like the virus mutates and it gets, changes and stuff like that. But I probably was only sick for a couple of days. Would have been demonstrably different if I hadn't had a vaccine, I think. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hey, Dr. Stately, thanks a lot for coming on, and I hope you feel better. It's always great to check in and just have our nice little conversation that we have, and it's serious now because COVID's back and we're all being inside and things like that. So we have to remind our friends out there listening that be vigilant.
Keep up, man.
All right, great to see you, Dr. Stately. Up next, Wendy with our Sacred Animals section.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Claudia with MinSure, Minnesota's official health insurance marketplace. With MinSure, you can compare health plans from multiple companies and get free help from a trusted expert. Whatever health plan you choose with MinSure, it's guaranteed to cover essential benefits, so you can get the care you need. See if you qualify for discounts, available only through MinSure. If you need quality, comprehensive health insurance, get started now at minsure.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl!
1 year ago, I was in the accident which nearly killed me. The last year has been a lot of work recovering, and positivity has been a key. Staying positive, I no longer refer to the accident as an accident, but rather the day my Toyota Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota saved my life. That's a factual statement, and the main reason why I'll always own one for the rest of my life. Some places will talk about auto safety, but I'm a living example of why you and your family can trust a Toyota from Rudy Luther Toyota. Go test drive one today and try the hybrids. They're fantastic. Rudy Luther Toyota on 394 in Golden Valley.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, thank you. I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years, and I just played a recording that I was on TV 7 years ago, and so in another month or two, it'll be 7 years that we've been on on the radio. January 1st, it was when we started going.
Kicked off yet.
Yeah, we keep on changing the times and when we're on, so people. No, I'm just kidding.
Keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh. Yeah. Cool. Hey, so we had you on Friday, so we're overworking you right now, but appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dago Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. So today I was at the vet bringing Lucy in for her weekly sub-Q fluids. Yeah, our little Lucy cat. She's doing okay. She's holding her own. She's 17. She has kidney failure, and that's why she has her fluids, but she's doing okay. But I was talking to a woman in the waiting room who had her cat there, and it was a young cat, only 6 months old, and she just adopted it from the feline rescue center in St. Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she said she has two cats at home. One cat's old and crabby and doesn't really want to play with our other cat that she has, but her other cat wants to play. So she got it a playmate, and they're playing just beautifully. They're getting along great. They're grooming each other. And the other cat that she had before is just so happy that she has a little buddy now. And then the older cat, who's kind of crabby, just is fine being alone and, cuddling with her human and just doing that. So that's great. But I think usually what happens is a lot of people decide on getting cats and dogs and pets for Christmas and for Christmas gifts. And I think that's okay as long as you really think about it. I mean, a cat is at least, listen, we adopted Lucy when she was 5 months old, and she's 17 now. So that's a long commitment. If you move, you take your cat. If you just take your cat. That's a long time to have an animal. It's a really long commitment. So just be sure that you want that commitment. They're not disposable. A lot of people will get dogs during the holidays, and then they don't want to really put in the work to train them. Dogs don't come with pre-notions on how to go potty and how to walk on a leash and, how to behave. They just don't. They have to be taught that. So just give it a lot of thought, because what happens is, the end of January, February, March, the shelters fill up with all the dogs and cats that people got for the holidays that they say, oh, well, I made a mistake now. So whatever. Yeah.
And bunnies. Easter and Christmas bunnies.
I know. It's not. Those are a long time commitment too.
Right.
Bunnies live a long time. Yeah.
They're not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I have some animal facts here.
Oh.
And it is 5 reasons why you should adopt 2 kittens instead of just 1.
You did that.
Yes.
We got Tommy and
Well, they were
Snowball.
cats. Those were big cats.
Oh,
Adult cats. We just adopted 2 of them.
to be buddies. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, one kitten can become lonely and bored, like I was just talking about that woman's cat. 2 kittens will keep each other entertained and keep each other company. Having 2 kittens is very amusing to watch. Yep, with a buddy, they'll have fewer behavioral issues.
Oh.
Yeah, and you'll save 2 lives instead of 1. But I want to make a correction on that. You're really saving 4 lives if you
yeah.
adopt 2 kittens. So you adopt the 2 kittens and you're saving their lives,
Mhm.
but you're making space for 2 more kittens to come into the rescue. So you're really saving 4 lives. So
Good
yeah,
point, Wendy.
yeah. So you should
Yeah.
really get 2 kittens together.
And that goes for dogs too, right?
I think so. Yes, to get 2 dogs. I do, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
Me
I always say this, I was walking Wanda tonight. We're doing really good with her training. I talked about this on Friday, how we're training her to be less reactive when she sees people and other dogs, and she's working really, really well. In fact, it was Robert took her out for a walk for the first time since
with the new rules.
With the new rules and the new treats and the
Yeah.
new training, because he had COVID, so he hasn't been out. But I kind of told Robert, just do this and this and this. And
Cold.
and then Robert, tell everybody what happened when you took Wanda.
Well, we didn't see any dogs, which I was really happy. But then all of a sudden on the way back, we saw a loose dog in the neighborhood, probably well trained, but still,
Yeah.
you never know. His dog might be coming. So it was about, I don't know, 100 yards away, maybe a little more.
Mhm.
And I walked Wanda across the street, and then the dog went across the street, and Wanda was pulling on the leash, and I knew what that meant. And I
She
said,
was
Wanda,
getting wound up.
I said, Wanda, and I gave her some treats, and she was like gobbling it up and sitting and looking at me and not paying attention to the dog. And then the
Mhm.
dog, I mean, it was maybe a minute, but still seemed like a long time in Wanda time
Yeah.
that she paid attention to me. And then it was like, oh, cool, we can walk on, because the dog was gone and she didn't freak out.
Yeah. Normally she would go ballistic.
Yeah.
Really. It's
If the
It's
very
not
least
even-
barking like
it's
a
not-
fool.
Not even putting it mildly.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before also on the show. When we walk our dogs, I always let Wanda sniff a lot. And it's really important to let your dog sniff. So it's not really the amount of walking that you're doing that's important for your dog. It's letting them sniff that's important, right?
Mhm.
Dogs see the world through their noses. Slow scent sniffing walks let your dog absorb and process all the scents. It gives you insight to their behaviors. Mentally and physically stimulating. It decreases their heart rate, decreases their stress levels, and improves their behavior. And it's not your walk, it's their walk.
Right.
Right?
And that's a really good reminder, because I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to take the dog and get exercise, where it's
Mhm.
like, no, this is the dog's time if I want exercise.
Yeah.
But our dog walks faster than I normally would,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy.
Yeah, she's not. She's a little Shih Tzu. She's only
A little
9
machine.
pounds. Yeah, she's like crazy walking fast. Yeah.
Loves it. And loves it.
And here's the top 10 reasons to adopt a black dog. Did you know
Oh.
that black dogs are the least adopted dog in the shelter?
What?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, black dogs are the least
I think they're cool.
adopted. Yeah. So black dogs are easy to find in the snow. They absorb heat, perfect for cuddling on cold winter day.
Yeah, give me that dog.
Yeah. Black dogs make you look thin. They are awesome at evening games of hide and seek. Black dogs never look dirty.
True.
Black dogs will go with all of your black outfits. They look presentable on any formal occasion. Black hair is invisible on your black winter coat. Black is timeless and never goes out of style. They are just as loyal, sweet, and loving as all the other dogs. If considering adoption, give them a chance, because they are often overlooked. They
Aw.
are, yeah.
But
I have a black dog, and
Yeah.
she sheds a lot. So I agree. If you wear all black, it doesn't show up.
Exactly. I know.
I didn't
I mean,
think
when
of
we had all our cats, we had 5
Ugh.
animals at one time. We had,
I was coughing
3
up fur
cats
balls.
and 3 cats and 2 dogs, and they all shed. So we would be like, if we bought furniture, oh, that fabric's not good. We have to get this fabric, right? Or what you're wearing, or we would tell people, hey, if you're coming over, don't wear black because
Yeah.
everything would get all over them. So yeah.
Then eventually we just never invited anybody over.
Yeah, and then eventually we didn't really care if everyone got full of cat hair.
Right.
Good for you for coming over.
Right on. Hey, thanks, Dr. Stately, for stopping in. Wendy, Peony, Gigi, thanks for coming in and giving us Fun Facts Friday on Monday.
Sure.
Haley, thanks for producing as always. You've been listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy art